My name is Klinger, and I am a former extra on the Mickey Mouse Club, and I was once a background singer for Britney Spears. I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife of two, I'm a wife of one and a mother of two, excuse me. Let me clear that up. My husband's going, what? I'm a wife of one and a mother of two. I am a songwriter, I am an artist, I'm a blogger, I'm a Christian, I love Jesus. And now, I'm a woman who has decided to be silent no more. Because for years the title that I hid from everyone is that I am also a murderer. 11 years ago, I was a divorced single mother who found out she was pregnant, and I chose to have an abortion. A few months later, I found out I was pregnant again, and once again chose to end the life of my unborn child. After months of horrible pain, it was discovered that I had had an incomplete abortion, and there were parts of the baby still inside my body. 5 years later, I found forgiveness from a loving God. I began a journey to wholeness and healing, but I quieted the guilt and shame that I still felt about aborting my children until just a few months ago. I was going through Twitter one day. Does anybody know what Twitter is? Probably everyone 30 and younger knows what Twitter is. So I'm going to explain to you what Twitter is. Twitter is a lot like Facebook, if you know what Facebook is in some ways. It's a social media outlet. Twitter is a little bit different because you can follow celebrities, and so it has quite a reputation. But on Twitter they have something called a hashtag, and what that is you put a pound sign and you put something after the pound sign. So if you were going to write something about pro-life, you could use the hashtag pro-life and use the pound sign. And so if you clicked on that hashtag, it would bring up everything that anyone in the world on Twitter said about pro-life. So I was going through Twitter, and the pastor of our church, it was a Saturday morning, and he said, Kelly, I want you to go on Twitter and I want you to click on the I had an abortion hashtag. And I want you to read what people are saying. So I clicked on the hashtag, and what I found was pro-abortion women bragging about the abortions that they had had and how they had no regrets, how it was painless, and how didn't affect their lives at all, and had they had the choice again, they would do it again and again and again. And one girl even commented on how she had had 3 abortions, and every time it was as if she had gone to the dentist to get her teeth cleaned. And as I started to read these, I felt anger and sadness rise up in me. And I decided that it was time to tell my story. So I wrote a hashtag of my own. And I said, I had an abortion, they didn't get all of the baby out of my body, and I hate myself. Within 10 minutes of writing the hashtag, I was attacked. I was attacked by a group of people who are supposedly for women, and for our truths, and for our stories, and for our honesty, but what I found was that they didn't want my story to be told. So all that did was fuel the fire inside of me to tell it. Thank you. So I wrote a blog. I was already a blogger, and so I decided to write a blog, and I used the hashtag I had an abortion and I hate myself, and this is the blog that I wrote. This week has been a complete hell. Someone asked if I had heard about the doctor in Orlando who had been in a lot of trouble, and when I searched for news about it, I realized it was the doctor who did my abortions. I found out that he has now had his medical license suspended for the 4th time, this time for performing late-term abortions past the time when they're legal. When I saw a picture of the clinic, I crumbled. When I saw a picture of the doctor, I began weeping and I couldn't stop. Every sight, every sound, every feeling came back. I can still remember the poster on the ceiling. It was the last thing I saw before I fell asleep from the anesthesia, and the first thing I saw when I woke up. The article was full of stories about women like me, ones who have suffered for months, even years, because of incomplete abortions. There was a woman who was awake and saw her baby being pulled from her as his body fell apart in the doctor's hands. They had her frantic 911 call when she decided she wanted the baby to live after seeing that it actually is a baby. But no one at the clinic would help. By the time the ambulance arrived, the baby was dead. It's an uncomfortable subject because if I call it a baby, if I admit that it was a boy or a girl who had 10 fingers and 10 toes and a life that was already mapped out by God, then I'm calling myself a killer. If I talk about it, blog about it, pray about it, well then that makes it real. But just when I think I've pushed the memories far enough behind that they won't catch up with me, there they are again. The self-hatred is paralyzing. It lurks closely and tells me that I'll never deserve happiness. The guilt is suffocating, and it has affected every relationship I have. I would take a bullet for my out-of-the-womb children. Why didn't I protect the ones inside? I have given up hope that the past could have been different. I cannot change what I did. Every Bible study, counseling session, and prayer seems to just be a band-aid over a wound that will never heal. So I will be a voice for my children who only know heaven. I will be a voice for the millions of women who live in regret, guilt, self-hatred, and fear of being found out. I will be painfully honest about every feeling I have, and I will stand up for life even when it's unpopular and politically incorrect. Because if I don't take this pain and make it my purpose, I think it might kill me. That was the blog I posted, and within 72 hours of posting the blog, it had over 10,000 visitors. It had hundreds of comments, it was reposted by thousands of pro-life websites, and it was translated into over 25 languages. I received hundreds of emails from radio hosts, organizations, campaigns, post-abortive women, haters, and everything in between. But in the midst of hope being so close, my heart remains broken. The stories are almost too much to bear. Women in depression so deep that they can no longer function. Women who live with nightmares and torment. Women who are haunted with suicidal thoughts because they feel like damaged goods. Men who live with guilt and shame because they were either too cowardly to step in or because they encouraged or paid for abortions.